We tend to imagine that in order to live a good life, we must have an insatiable appetite for the truth. We champion honesty, we praise self-awareness, and we believe that seeing things as they really are is the ultimate sign of maturity. But what if, in reality, this noble pursuit is only part of the story? What if, in order to simply keep going, to get out of bed in the morning and get anything meaningful done, we actually need to skillfully and selectively blind ourselves to a range of harsh, paralyzing realities? Perhaps the art of living isn't about staring into the abyss, but about knowing precisely when to look away. Maybe to have the willpower to continue, we must swallow a number of necessary illusions. This isn't about self-deception in a negative sense, but about a kind of psychological immune system, a curated set of beliefs that protect us from the full, crushing weight of existence. So, let's explore some of the essential blind spots, the fruitful fictions that are paradoxically necessary for our flourishing. First and foremost, we must operate as if we are not going to die. Of course, we know it intellectually, but to truly feel the constant, impending reality of our own annihilation every single day would be paralyzing. It would render every long-term plan absurd. Why start a business that will take a decade to build? Why plant a tree whose shade you may never sit under? Why write a book that will one day turn to dust? To function, we have to convince ourselves that all the things we fervently pursue, our careers, our projects, our passions, are so critically important and so urgent that they genuinely do matter. We must grant them a significance that transcends their temporary nature, ignoring the chilling thought that, within a few hundred years, or even less, they might look like incomprehensible, futile mulch to those who come after us. This isn't ignorance. It's a functional focus, a necessary narrowing of our existential vision. On a social level, we must care almost manically about what other people think. The stark truth is that most people are the protagonists of their own movie, and we are merely background characters. They hardly give us a sustained, objective thought, let alone a fair one. Yet if we truly internalize this, how could we ever summon the courage for a first date, a job interview, or a public presentation? We have to imagine our audience is deeply invested. We have to believe their approval is attainable and meaningful. This illusion is the engine of social cohesion and personal ambition. Similarly, we have to cling to the hope that we could one day be truly loved and profoundly understood, even though few things in life are ever more in doubt. The human soul is a vast, messy, and contradictory landscape. To be fully known might be to be rejected. So we hope for an understanding that is both deep and forgiving, an ideal that fuels our search for connection. This leads to a crucial internal illusion. We have to stay on our own side. We must be our own advocates, even when we are acutely aware of our failings. We know, in the quiet moments of the night, how beastly, strange, and foolish we can really be. We know our hidden shames, our petty jealousies, our uncharitable thoughts. If we were to judge ourselves with the cold, impartial justice we might demand of others, we would be crushed by self-loathing. To keep going, we must practice a form of self-mythology. We have to believe in our own potential for goodness and growth, essentially becoming a compassionate biographer of a flawed hero, ourselves. Consider our relationship with the next generation. We have to melt at the cuteness of small children, seeing in them pure, unblemished potential. We must do this while conveniently setting aside the statistical knowledge of how challenging adulthood is, how most of them will turn out perfectly ordinary with their own set of sorrows, and that the idealized, just, and coherent world we're teaching them about doesn't really exist. This isn't a lie to them, but a gift of hope to ourselves. Is the only way we can pour our energy into raising them. Similarly, we must look forward to the next few years with genuine excitement. We plan vacations, we set goals, we anticipate milestones. We do this even though, if we're honest, almost every new day is a scratchy, mundane 6 out of 10, or perhaps even below. The illusion of a brighter future is the fuel we burn to get through the ordinary present. We have to believe that we are collectively making progress. We celebrate technological marvels and social advancements. Yet, we also know that every invention unleashes a necessary and often appalling set of unintended consequences. The automobile gave us freedom, but also pollution and traffic fatalities. The internet connected the globe, but also created echo chambers and anxiety. The illusion we maintain is a belief in a net positive trajectory. We must hold on to this to avoid a cynical despair that would halt all innovation. At the same time, we are told to care about humanity with a capital H. But this is an abstraction. The necessary illusion is to sustain this grand feeling while navigating the reality that most of its individual members, from up close, are profoundly and creatively insufferable. This pattern extends to our personal pursuits. We must keep getting excited about buying new things, even as experience repeatedly teaches us how seldom any of them ever really make a lasting difference. The thrill is in the anticipation of belief that this new gadget, this new coat, will finally fill a void. The illusion is temporary, but the forward-looking motivation it provides is real. We also have to keep traveling, embracing the fantasy that being somewhere else is the answer, when the truth is that a place is always better in memory or anticipation than in the often uncomfortable reality of being there. We must keep seeing our so-called friends, investing in bonds that require a delicate, unspoken agreement to not look too closely. We would be crushed if we could hear even a fraction of the fleeting, critical, or indifferent thoughts that really go through their minds, just as they would be by ours. Friendship thrives on a shared, edited reality. And looking ahead, we have to believe in the possibility of a comfortable, wise old Aegea time of peaceful reflection and respected authority. We need this North Star to guide us, even though we know it will, for most, be a challenging period of agony, aches, and catheters. The illusion isn't the goal. It's the motivation to live our middle years well enough to earn the best possible version of it. Finally, and perhaps most profoundly, we must not properly notice just how overwhelmingly beautiful, interesting, and opportunity-filled life truly is. If we were to constantly be aware of every sunset we're missing, every book we'll never read, every person we'll never meet, every path we didn't take, we would go mad from the sheer excitement and paralyzing regret. Our limited attention is a mercy. In short, let's not fool ourselves. We don't really want to know the full, unvarnished truth all the time. We require only so much of it as is compatible with making it out of bed in the morning. We have to confront an uncomfortable fact about self-awareness. Those who most know how to enjoy life may also be those who, at key moments, are masters at fruitfully lying to themselves. But maybe these aren't lies at all. Perhaps they are stories. They're the narratives we craft to build resilience, the permissions we give ourselves to find joy in an imperfect world. This isn't about weakness. It's about a profound, creative strength. It's the art of choosing focus. We choose to focus on the child's laugh, not the statistical outcome. We choose to focus on the potential of a new day, not the disappointments of a last. We choose to believe in love, progress, and friendship because the very act of believing in them helps bring them into being. The goal isn't to live in delusion, but to consciously curate our realitido, filter the light in a way that allows us to grow. The truth is always there, a vast and sometimes terrifying ocean. But we are the captains of our own small ships, and we get to choose which stars to navigate by. In this beautiful, necessary, and deeply human art of storytelling, we find not just the will to continue, but the very meaning of a life well lived. If these ideas resonate with you, and you're interested in exploring more ways to navigate the complexities of life with wisdom and grace, please consider subscribing to our channel. We're dedicated to asking these kinds of questions and finding clarity in unexpected places. Thank you for watching.